Right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Yvonne John. Let's encourage her as she comes.
I dreamt of wearing Nike. My wonderful dad bought me Dunlop. At college, I wanted to be part of the Popular Kids Club. I used to stand at the doorway of the common room, longingly looking inside, wishing I could join their club. At uni, it was the Afro-Caribbean Society. I got back to my roots. When I was in my 20s, I wanted to join the Couples Club. Having a man back then was like the girl's greatest achievement, especially if you look like Denzel Washington. In my 30s, I wanted to be part of the marriage club. I used to lie in my bed, hugging my pillow. I could dream of my wedding. I had a long white dress, a long trail, and I would walk down the aisle, and Denzel Washington would take When I entered my 40s, I wanted to be part of the Sleepless Nights and Nappy Club. Over the years, I did manage to probably join all the clubs that I wanted to join, with the exception of one. I never became a mum. 1 in 5 women over the age of 45 in the UK are childless by circumstance. And this was a club I never imagined I would join. I don't know what images come to your mind when you think of a childless woman, but for me, she was that old hag down the street. Come on, you know the kind. That bitter, twisted old lady that really hated children. And she had loads of cats. But sometimes she was that spinster that just couldn't get a man. Well, I don't fit that profile. I'm married, I love kids, and I'm allergic to cats. But in October 2014, I heard that I had unexplained infertility. No one could tell me why I couldn't conceive a child. And I remember sitting across from the consultant, and when I heard those 2 words, unexplained infertility, my heart sank. It was like my fate had been sealed, and my world just suddenly changed. My smile I had when I watched parents play with their children turned to tears. The joy I had experienced when I was around my friends and their toddlers turned to pain. And the laughter you could hear when I listened to my dad relay stories of him playing with his grandchildren was silenced by my sorrow. A friend of mine who knew what I was going through directed me to Gateway Women, and this is a support group for women who are childless by circumstance. There I met Jodie Day, who's the founder, and a wonderful bunch of women who knew exactly what I was going through. But it was a difficult time for me because I just felt like I didn't belong amongst them. There were women who really wanted to be mothers. Through the stories of multiple miscarriages, endless rounds of IVF, early menopause and cancer, and even women who just didn't find their Mr. Right to start a family with. I felt like a fraud. My mind told me I didn't belong, and I certainly didn't deserve their sympathy. My inner critic reminded me of all the mistakes I had made, all those failed relationships, and the 2 terminations I had in my 20s that led me to believe I didn't deserve to be a mum. Although 1 in 3 women have had a termination by the age of 45, it's still a huge taboo and one that's very difficult to talk about. Jodie Day mentions in her book, Living the Life Unexpected, For those of us who have gone on to remain childless after having an abortion, there can be a dark shadow that hangs over us, which says that somehow we're not allowed to grieve our childlessness because we had the opportunity to be a mother and we didn't go through with it. It's another way of adding to the experience of disenfranchised grief and a secret that even childless women rarely share with each other. As part of my grieving process, I wrote a letter to my younger self, and I told her she hadn't made mistakes, she made choices, and those choices were made for a reason. I told the young Yvonne that she wanted to have a strong man by her side, someone who was willing to have children with her. And I told Yvonne that she wanted to have a loving and respectful relationship, and this is something she didn't have back then. I held the young Yvonne with compassion, and I helped her find the forgiveness that she was so desperate to find. So through Gateway Women, I was in a place where I had understanding, I had love, and I had compassion. And I had a place where I could grieve, and all the bad that I was feeling was allowed. No one was trying to fix us, and we all worked through our stuff together. But then I also found a bunch of women who were struggling, who had lost their voice. We may have been successful in our careers, in other areas of our lives. We may have climbed the career ladder, but somehow we lost a place in our society. We lost our place amongst our family and friends, and we didn't know where we belonged. Even at work, no one knew what to say to us. No one even knew what to do with us. We had many questions. Who am I as a woman? What is my worth? Who am I as a wife? Where do I belong now? And who's going to look after us when we're older? They all needed to be answered. So I decided I wanted to give these women a voice back. I wanted us to be heard, and I wanted us all to be understood. So the idea of my book was conceived. And in July 2016, Dreaming of a Life Unlived was born. Dreaming of a Life Unlived is a collection of stories from women who have bravely dared to stand up and be heard. They charted their journeys through the tears, the joys, the laughter, the sorrow, to finding a fulfilling life without children. And some of those women are here tonight. I've been on an incredible journey, and a journey of self-discovery and healing. And I've come so far, but I know my grief will always be with me. There are still times when I'll hear that someone's pregnant and my heart just ties into a knot. There are still times when I watch mothers with their children playing and I just want to cry. There are still times when I'm watching telly and I think, I wish that could have been me. Why could that not have been me? But through everything I've gone through, and nearly 3 years on, I stand here before you a very different woman to the one that left that consultant's office back in October 2014.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is most gratifying to see all the beautiful people here who has come from far and wide, all the way up from Birmingham and all the places, traveling on this motorway, to come and support Yvonne in her delivery of her book and then the anniversary. It is most humbling to hear all the stories, and of course, that is, life goes on. Today I was asked by her husband Dave to present to her this gift. I was told to say the name, Regina. I don't even feel I said it right. That name means something to Yvonne. So Yvonne, on behalf of Dave and everyone who is here, I would like to present to you this gift.